Hi guys, and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today I'm going to be playing Ride 4. Special Naked Trophy Championship is here, and away we go. So we'll pull it over to one side. Yet again, we're on the Ktm Super Duke 1290R. Absolutely terrific motorcycle. If you didn't see the other day's video, which was on the very same bike, in the Special Naked Trophy, I would highly recommend it. I really would, because I thought it was absolutely superb. I really enjoyed the Grand Prix racing in that one. My commentary was on point as always, if I do say so myself, as we start from the rear of the group and work our way through as we did then, and we're going to be doing it here as well, as our first overtake is going to come now, up on the inside of Valerie Tremblay. Kate Stewart's ahead, Alfred Backstrom's there as well, but we're going to be sifting our way through the pack. We're not going to be pushing too hard. Of course, starting off this Grand Prix in this particular championship, there's going to be 3 Grand Prix here in today's video. Like to treat you as much as I can do. So chucked in 3 fantastic tracks and fantastic races in one wholesome video. So now going right for the right hook. Alfred Backstrom is ahead of us, the Swedish rider. Francisco Santos is ahead of him and Peter O'Donnelly. As we make our move up on the inside of Alfred Backstrom, we go really wide there, braking far too late and getting too close to the rear of Peter O'Donnelly. So of course, checking to make sure there's no other riders around me so I can enter the track or re-enter the track as safely as possible. Now into indecision, hold it right for the right-hander of precision for turn 12. Holding it nicely on the right-hand side of the tyre, now pushing it out, getting close enough to the rumble strip, but not necessarily on it for this particular occasion, as it's now 2 o'clock here in this magnificent Salt Lake City Grand Prix, here in Utah, as we flick it right now for faster, flick it left for gotcha for turn 15, and then turn it right once more for the maybe you'll make it. So the absolutely brilliant corner names, which I think I mention every single time we come to this track because they're just so good. They're just so creative and just so cool. I think more corners have to be named that way, as Valerie Tremblay is about to be overtaken yet again as we get a little bit out of shape. Not quite. Peter O'Donnelly looked a bit more out of shape than we did. He certainly looked a little bit rounder than we did as we go up at the inside of the fellow British rider. Kate Stewart ahead. Another British rider rocking the Casey Stoner helmet. As we flick it to the left for Bad Attitude, turn 22 navigated. Can we go around the outside of Miss Stewart? We certainly can. And now into the left-hander of turn 23. So the lead to Karen Jones is about 5.5 seconds. Of course, we didn't have a very good start to this Grand Prix. A little bit too many mistakes for my liking as we go into the clubhouse corner. And then flick it right for the wind-up. Up into second gear, holding the line here. You can see the throttle in the bottom right hand corner of your screen there. Relatively smooth action with a bit of teetering, a little bit of pressing just gently, just to help us get into the corner and get the acceleration exactly where we needed it. Now approaching the timing line to end the first lap. A very long lap actually, considering to the other races on this particular video. It's a 2-minute 51 lap. Of course it won't be like that once we get closer and closer to the leaders and get those faster laps in. So Goldagin's behind us. We did just get ahead of him just a moment ago by using the speed of the Super Duke. Now we can't mess around too much. This is a 6-second gap to Karen Jones. Of course, Anton Koskela is there as well. We had a bit of a battle with a Finnish rider a few days ago. I might have been yesterday in the Trophy 600 RM group, so we don't fancy replicating that here as we go around the outside of the Finnish rider, but the Finnish rider's going to fight back. Brilliantly done. I kind of got in my way there, but I'm glad we still had the power and the gall and the gumption to fight back. So we flick it to the right-hander of right hook, getting ever so closer to the Chinese rider there. Thankfully, just let go of the acceleration just a little bit. We just touched there and just a tad. Not ideal to try and cut his nose off in that particular corner, but yeah, here's a slap on the wrist and crack on with it. Charlie McGrath ahead of us, the Australian. Going to be getting into his slipstream sooner rather than later. Not sure when I'm going to make the move up onto Charlie McGrath. Probably out on the exit of precision. We'll get the right drive, and yeah, you betcha. Called it as it happened. I love to see it. Just love to see it. Now into the very fast part, the fastest section of the track really, about 160 miles an hour, turning it right, flicking it left for gotcha, turn 15 of course. And then Francisco Santos, we've seen him earlier on, and now we're seeing him again here, but of course one lap has expired since that last time we've seen him. And of course we are in a much better position than where we were before. Front tyre is taking a little bit of a battering here. It's getting a little bit warm, getting a bit spongy. About 59% of degradation on that front tyre, and roughly the same for the rear, 56%, as we use a little bit of rear brake just to help us get into the corner of first attitude, then flick it left for second attitude, then bad attitude, of course. Something we don't have too many around here. We don't have many bad attitudes. As we flick it left for turn 23. Can we use the speed of the Super Duke to get past the Aprilia? I do know that Aprilia is quick. Can we get over the inside? He sort of backs off a little bit, but at the same time, Francisco Santos will be able to fight back as we flick it right for the final corner, or at least one of the final corners of wind-up. Didn't happen there. I think Francisco's quite happy to sit back and allow us to take over into third place. Does mean that the Portuguese rider has succumbed to fourth place and given up that third, but at the same time, he could use our slipstream and help him catch up to Izo Nakano. So, Nakano, Jones ahead of us, only 2 more riders to beat, but of course the lap time is not really there yet. We can get quicker, we can definitely go quicker, and of course with a 4-second advantage for Karen Jones in under 3 laps, this might be a little bit tight, you know. I might have to really chuck in those fast lap times and just absolutely throw caution to the wind and just give it everything we've got. We'll soon see how this transpires, but we'll give it everything we've got. That's all we can do. That's all we ever do on board this channel and on board these motorcycles. Just give it 110%, full ace, the whole kit and caboodle when we're trying to race against the AI on the hardest difficulty. Now hold it to the right hand side for right hook, turn 6. Holding the smooth throttle as we leave knockout there. Smooth throttle is all I can preach to you every single time I do a video. Being smooth on the brakes, smooth on the throttle, smooth on the turns, just everything's smooth. It should be, instead of stay ace, it should be stay smooth. But I'm sure ace sounds more cooler and just more suave in general to one for stay ace rather than staying smooth. Coming out to precision, turn 12. Getting up to full speed here, full throttle. There's absolutely no letting go of that acceleration. It's full balls to the wall, if you will, going everything towards it into turn 14 and flicking it left at 15. You can use the rumble strip there to help you get into that corner. You kind of cut a little bit of the corner there, but it's still acceptable, it's still allowed. So of course the rumble strip is still part of the track. As we go into satisfaction. Turn 17, navigated to perfection. Turn 18 upon us for the left-hander of agony. The left-hander, again, of ecstasy. Coming out, getting into the rumble strip again. Izo Nakano will be dispatched of in a moment. I don't doubt that in a second. He is not going the same pace as this man here on board the Ktm Super Duke. A magnificent bike. If you still haven't tried it yet, then I would highly recommend you to jump on to Ride 4 and get this bike purchased. Of course, I do believe this bike is already in the game, so I don't think it'll set you back any real money, but a couple of credits here and there should definitely fly out the bank account and jump into this game and just buy the KTM. It's so good. I think it's one of the best naked bikes in this game. Quite possibly the best, but I'm not going to say the, like an ultimatum, because I just don't fancy doing that. We don't need to have a definitive winner or a definitive favourite when all the bikes are great on Ride 4. So lap 3 of 5 completed. We are now on to the penultimate lap, and we're about 1.8 seconds away from the South African in the lead. So we'll do what we can, but I'm pretty certain we'll close him down by the end of this lap. We are super quick going into the first sector and then the third sector, so keep an eye out for those sector times. Even the fourth sector is pretty fast as well. I think overall we're just quicker than the AI. That's the reality of it. The AI just don't seem to be that quick when it comes to fighting against DrAce. Maybe they just hold back. Maybe they get starstruck from a man who has 1,000 subscribers. Starstruck at that one, surely. Why not? But I don't know if you've seen the brand new helmet, by the way, guys. My DrAce 1000 helmet. I uploaded some pictures to the community post, or the community tab on my YouTube channel, so if you do want to see a further look. It's also in the Phillip Island Master Group as well, so if you want to see it in action, check out that video there, and you'll see my brand new helmet. As we hold it left for Diablo, and the racing line there quite nicely, but as you can see the racing line of the actual of the tyres and on the track, it's not identical to the racing line that I tend to use. I think I find the best racing line to use, but I don't think the game does a good job of depicting it properly. Because we always have the same issue in Mugello where the riders go on the wrong side of the track, and then in Qatar as well, if a MotoGP 20, they always seem to go on the wrong side of the track there as well. instead of going to like what they do in MotoGP. And I guess it makes sense because sometimes it is quicker, and then sometimes it's, I like realism. I like it to look more accurate than just to making it quicker. I like my performance to look real as well. I like to make it look exciting, smooth, and very, very calculated. Can't always say the same, but I do my best to make it, at least make it look that way. As we're now approaching the fast left-hander, then fast right-hand, and then fast left-hander. We could very well take over the lead here by using a bit of the rumble strip on second attitude, but we didn't need to do it there, as we're going to get into the slipstream in any moment now of Ktm Jones. The South African has led pretty much every single lap until it gets to the final lap, where I don't think Ktm's even going to have a prayer to lead this Grand Prix. We'll go a little bit early on the brakes there. You could definitely take it earlier there, and then use the speed to dive up on the inside up into the wind-up, just like we did there. Beautifully done. Almost as if it was rehearsed. Conjured that up at the last second and decided that was the move we're going to do. And let's see how wide open we can get this lead. Let's see how large this gap can become. Already up to 0.3 of a second. I would probably say, hazard a guess, it's probably going to be up to about 3 seconds by the time I finish this lap. The AI just can't compete when we're on our A game, but then again, Ktm Jones is fighting back, breaking a little bit early there into the Sunset Boulevard corner. Thankfully, Ktm Jones does not try a would-be lunge, so thankfully we're still in the lead. Ktm Jones in second, Izo Nakano in third. The Japanese rider doing everything he can to maintain that rostrum position. Now into workout, accelerate a little bit outwards, lift the bike upwards, and then flick it to the left for scream, turn 4. And then watch out for the signage on the right hand side there. Brake nice and early. You can use a bit of rear brake there, but I didn't this time. Now into Black Rock hairpin, flick it left, follow the racing line, and then get ready in a moment's time after you see a couple of signage. Turn to the right for the right hook. It would be odd to turn right for the corner to be actually called left hook. Well, thankfully it's not as we go into knockout. Now flick it left for turn 8 for Demon. I like these corner names, I really do, it's so creative. The gap is now up to 0.7 of a second. Ktm Jones looks to be quite satisfied with second place. I think Mr. Jones, is it a Mr. that one, Ktm? I'm going to assume it's a woman. So I'll probably say Lady Jones, Miss Jones, so shout out to anyone who's seen Rising Damp before. Fun fact, Rising Damp is one of my favourite comedies from forever. And Leonard Roster is one of my favourite actors, if not my favourite actor of all time. That is completely off topic, but anyone who gets that, let me know in the comment section down below. I'm guessing you have to be somewhat of an older British generation to understand that, but if you do understand it, let me know. That is Rising Damp and Miss Jones. That makes a ton of sense to me. I'm not even sure my age there because I'm actually quite young. I'm 26, so I guess that's not that old, but at the same time, it's way before my time, that. But I still like it nonetheless. But I think my estimation of a 3-second gap is actually well out of whack here. We're only up by 1.1 seconds, 1.2 or 1.4 or 1.5 seconds, so maybe it isn't actually that far out of order. 1.9 seconds, oh my goodness. Ktm Jones, eat your heart out, sunshine. How could you let that happen? You were leading this Grand Prix on the penultimate lap, and now we've taken 2 seconds out of you in just 1 lap. Not even completed the lap yet, actually. So it's easily a 25 points for us. Ktm Jones is quite happy to take the 22 or 20 points, I think it is, in Ride 4 career mode, I think. I'm not entirely sure. I don't do the championships that often because, or at least I don't pay attention to the championships because we usually just end up winning them just like this one. So victory here for DrAce right here in Utah for the Salt Lake City Grand Prix. So now we go across the globe, back home in England for Codwell Park. I love this track, I've mentioned it many times, and of course, I'm going to show you why today. So pulling over to one side to let the other riders get ahead. Of course, we can do the business from the back of the grid, and even giving them a couple of seconds head start. I could probably give them a lot longer head start, but for the time being, I like to get back into the action to see if any carnage occurs, and just to get in with the other riders, because I think there's a certain skill with being able to ride around the other riders without bumping into them, because that certainly doesn't correlate well online. A lot of people tend to just bump into you just because they're anywhere too close to you. But thankfully we don't, well, we at least try not to do that when playing Ride 4 against the AI for these video purposes, of course. So now going to the Chris curve at turn 5, 1400 hours, that is race time. Do believe Portimao will start at 1400 hours as well. Though we lost the front a little bit there, going into turn 6 for the before the gooseneck. And of course turn it left for turn 8, Mansfield. Izo Nakano, the Japanese rider, looks like his teammates with Shang-Ji, because they're both on similar motorcycles with the same livery and helmet combination. As we go around the outside of the Chinese men, oh, getting them roll wrong. Beautifully done there as we go up into the big mountain section. There's Golda Jeans, Charlie McGrath. Karen Jones is actually back in the lead again with a 3 seconds advantage. Can't wait to tackle her in the magnificent Cadwell Park. Very difficult track to maintain your speed. Very difficult track to just get right, to be honest with you. I remember doing the time trial challenge on board the Suzuki Hayabusa. I think everyone hated the Suzuki Hayabusa, so I say mission accomplished. Because I'm actually not a big fan of the Hayabusa, but I am a big fan of this magnificent track. So into turn 2, right on the rear of Charlie McGrath now. We'll probably get through in a second once we open the throttle, but I'm probably not going to go all the way through because he is on that Aprilia, which carries a lot of speed, carries way more speed than we have managed to do. Can we outbrake him here, going up into the right-hander? A little bit of contact there, a little bit of contact made into Park. Charlie McGrath went a little bit wide. I think he went onto the grass there, actually. So my apologies, I didn't intend to bump him there. But it was a part where just 2 magnificent men wanted the same piece of tarmac. It does happen, and that is racing. Call that one a racing incident if you would. No further action, please. Because I think that was just a bit of collision. I don't even know if he went off. I mean, it looked like he disappeared from the timing screens on the left-hand side. But of course, that's because Peter O'Donnelly is now into 3rd place. So we carry quite a bit of speed going into the mountain. I have to be careful of that one. You need to carry a lot of speed, but a smooth and comfortable amount of speed, if that makes any sense. And as of course I said earlier, just go smooth, especially around a track like this. There's no need to be chucking it into the scenery because it's not ideal to go full throttle, full brake, full lean angle. Just do what you can. Just feel the track, feel it, let it embrace you, and just feel the whole thing. It's a great track, honestly. I do adore this track very much so. And racing here on a Super Duke on one of the nakeds, I think I said this earlier, and I'm going to say it again, one of the best naked bikes I've used in this game. Probably RVS. The MV Agusta RVS is my ultimate naked bike favourite. It's just so good. It handles just like a dream. If it was a cat, it would be permanently purring, let me tell you. As we now flick it to the right hand side for Park, turn 4. Using a lot of speed there, so we got a little bit too much speed by kicking out the rear. If we were a little bit smoother on the throttle there, then the rear wouldn't have stepped out so much. As we'll flick it right for the gooseneck, flick it left now for the gooseneck, turn 7. And then left-hander of Mansfield, turn 8. And we have closed right up now onto the South African lady. Not quite enough there yet to say we're going to have a lunge or get anywhere close enough to. But we are closing in all the time, up by 5/10 of a second already. Getting ever so close as we go up into the mountain. Careful not to wheelie over. If you want to get over that corner, just be careful on the acceleration. Get to the point of the incline and then release the throttle just gently. Don't want to be going full throttle over there because you'll probably just wheelie into oblivion, and we don't want to do that there. Certainly don't, because it's a treacherous corner to get right as we exit Barn for the last time. Oh, a little bit out of shape there as the bike sort of slid a little bit. And a bit of stutter for our troubles. Thank you very much, Milestone. Hope they fix that one for MotoGP 21, which is of course just next week, which I cannot wait for. It's just getting so close. I'm super pumped, super excited. So stay tuned for that one. Of course, stay tuned, stay ace for the live stream next Saturday at 8 PM. That is the 24th of April. So fingers crossed to be seeing you there. But for the time being, things are getting hotted up round there, heating up. Like a Bunsen burner, we're getting closer and closer to Karen Jones into the Chris curve. Getting closer and closer. The fans are on their feet. You're on your feet, or at least you're on the edge of your seats. We're going up inside now into the gooseneck. Brilliantly done. Little bit no contact made. Thank goodness for that. But Karen Jones, oh, I think she crashed. Yep, she crashed. Now, I felt guilty for that at first because I thought maybe I didn't give her any room. But after looking back upon it, I don't think I did. I think I gave her enough room, just that she decided not to take us. We got down! No! Into the mountain! We accelerated too much! We didn't get straight and we've gone down up over the mountain. That is not good. That is not good at all. Call it the Mountain Song by Jane's Addiction. That is not good at all. As we crash down. But if there was any doubt that I did knock Karen Jones off, I will let her get through and we'll do battle on the final lap. You know, I might have made a mistake here by giving Karen Jones an advantage, because look at the speed she carries up into turn 1. That's ridiculous. Across the timing line, she was up by 0.6 of a second. Unbelievable. Maybe that was a big mistake. Now we're on the back foot here. But I don't think I did need to do that. I don't think I deserved to be penalised for that one. It did seem that that was her mistake. So we'll see. But we're getting closer and closer again for a bit of revenge, actually, because I want to make sure we get into the mountain this time without crashing. And I don't feel guilty anymore for getting close enough to Karen Jones. We slide it on the grass there. Got to be careful. That one, hearts in mouths moments, let me tell you. As we get closer and closer to Karen. Can we go around the outside this time? Not quite. Hesitated this time because I didn't want to knock her off into oblivion yet again. Which, to be fair, still don't think I did. But she decided to take extremely evasive action. But you know where I'm going to go. I'm going to go for the around the outside mode. Yes. Around the outside. Yes, around the outside. Put that on a t-shirt. Beautifully done. Going over the mountain into the lead for the second time of asking. And now for the final time of asking, tackling these very difficult right and left-handers. Off camber, on camber, inclines, declines, undulation, everything for Codwell. Brilliant stuff here. As we now flick it right for the final time of Barn turn 16. Full acceleration, up by 0.7 of a second. We are victorious yet again. Round 3 of 3 in today's Grand Prix, and it's another magnificent British track. Oh, I do love them. 3, 2, 1, and it's away we go. Of course, we are on the KTM still, but we are going to pull over to one side and just let the other riders get ahead. If you did see the video the other day, you will know that I absolutely thrashed it here in Donington in a brilliant battle, which probably is the main reason I did this video, or I did this championship straight after the other one, because I just thought it was absolutely awesome. Loved using the Super Duke. And the selection of tracks for this particular Grand Prix Championship is just so good. As we cover the inside of about 3 riders there, that is a fantastic lunge. Put that in the DrAce archive of overtakes. As we now go up to the inside of another rider, Izo Nakano beaten. Charlie McGrath next on the list. Can we go up to the inside here to McLean's? Oh, that's brave. You can't see, but that, my goodness, is a chef's kiss, let me tell you. The chef's kiss really, really oh, it's just beautiful. It certifies everything about a great overtake. And there it did, yet again. Goldajine's ahead of us. He's leading the Grand Prix, but not for long, as Karen Jones carries a lot of speed. Going into the S's, into the lead for as many times in this Grand Prix as already for the laps. Awesome stuff so far from Karen Jones. But can she stop the beast that is DrAce? The speed, the demon on the brakes, you name it. Going a little bit wide into the Melbourne hairpin. Goldajine's attempts to fight back. Not quite. Go up on the inside of him like Kenny Roberts did on Jeremy McWilliams. Beautifully done. Karen Jones to the left-hand side of us. Or at least ahead and a bit to the left for Goddard's. Going underneath the Bridgestone sign and across the timing line. That's the first lap so far complete. Only 4 more to go. On board the KTM 1290 Super Duke R. Steady on the acceleration out of there. It can be tempting to just go full throttle there and just to really eagerly push it, but just try and be careful going around these next couple of sections. Don't want to be pushing too much as we now enter the old hairpin for the second time of asking. Karen Jones just ahead of us on track. She's running that MV Agusta with the Syria Ono, I think it's called. Really nice motorcycle. I need to try it though, and I love the look of it, but I'm not sure if I've used it before. I don't recall. Of course, it sounds amazing, so shout out to MV Agusta for that one. As we go right-hand side now for Calpis. A wonderful sunny day here in Donington Park. 30 degrees at 2 PM. You can't ask for a better time. And weather and temperature for that one is, oh my goodness. Karen Jones not even phased. Can we go around the outside, though? Can we make it stick? You betcha for the S's. Oh, a little bit wide, and we just gained our first bit of penalty in this championship so far. So we'll let Karen Jones get ahead of us in a moment's time because, well, I got that penalty. I didn't really want the penalty. So the lady with the Lorenzo helmet can get through into the Melbourne hairpin. And now it's time to go racing yet again. It's almost like a little bit of a restart for that one. A little virtual safety car, if you will. Just to let us know we can get back on with it. Because I don't like getting penalty. And if I'm going to overtake someone immediately earn penalty time, then I should probably suggest I need to take a step back and do an overtake that's actually good and proper. because of course you wouldn't see that in real life with a rider going off into the track and then holding position. Surely they'd have to probably just regain the position back, or just give it to the another opponent. As we now flick it to the right for turn 2. Get ready to flick it left in a moment's time for the crane of curves. We're carrying a lot of speed. We can very well go up at the inside here. Beautifully done up at the inside of the old hairpin. See you later, sweetheart. We are now into the lead and leading by about 5 tenths of a second. Be careful into turn 5. I've preached this before, and I'm obviously not even paying attention to my own bloody advice here. But be super careful into turn 5. It's so easy to touch that rumble strip and just completely lose the bike. If you do go close enough to that rumble strip, just don't full acceleration. No full acceleration, just gentle acceleration, and you'll be absolutely fine and dandy. Up by 1 second now over Karen Jones. I would like to say that she's going to claw back and give us a bit of a run for our money, but I'd be lying. Oh, a little bit out of her shape there for the S's. Karen Jones, I just don't think she has it in her. It might not be a case of her skill, or in her tenacity, but I'm just not sure that bike can keep up with DrAce on board this Super Duke. Really magnificent motorcycle. Be sad to not use it for a couple of videos. It's very difficult to try and pick out which videos to make, because of course I want to make all of them, but how do I do it in a nice, timely fashion to keep you guys entertained? And of course with the bikes I'm trying to use different styles and different types of bikes, just to keep everyone entertained and interested in the content. So I'll flick it right for turn 1. But of course I did mention earlier, so in case you missed it, it was the 24th of August at 8 PM. I'll be doing my live stream. Of course that is 8 PM GMT. So I'm not sure what country you're from, so you'll have to then just find it out and then join me. But of course I will be updating you along the way anyway. I hope that I can play with you guys online in MotoGP 21. Of course that'll be my very first experience online in MotoGP 21. So it'll be very interesting to see how we all get on, since we'll be very, very green to the brand new game, which I can't wait for. I'm looking forward to it so much. It's going to be so good, so exciting. I can't wait to do the career mode. Got big plans for the career mode. Another classic championship, I hope, and some historical modes. Oh, I can't wait. I'm already getting a fuzzy feeling inside. As we flick it left for the S's. Flick it right again for the S's as well for turn 10. And now turn 11 to navigate the Melbourne hairpin. Up by 2 tenths of a second on our fastest lap, which was a 1:27.304. I do believe this will probably be into the 1:26s. Oh, I'm not sure anymore. We go a little bit too wide over the rumble strip and into the grass. Not ideal as we flick it left for Goddard's. Turn 12 and the final corner. So this is the penultimate lap complete underneath the Bridgestone sign and under across the timing zone. That is a pretty decent lap, pretty consistent. We did lose 2 or 3 tenths by messing up that last couple of corners, but it's quite alright when you've got a lead about 3 seconds. You really don't need to concern yourself with setting in the fastest laps. No additional points awarded in MotoGP or Ride 4 or Superbike for the fastest lap. So now flick it to the right. Old hairpin navigated extremely well. Turn 5 coming up in a moment's time. A little bit close to the rumble strip, but see, we did alright there. We let go of the acceleration just a tad, and that was enough. We'll flick it right for McLean's. Beautifully executed. Love this track so much. I'd probably have to say this is my favourite track of all time, maybe. It's so good. I love it so much. It feels so good. Each bike feels natural on it. No bike feels like it's a chore. The wide track, the great rumble strips. Amazing. I love this track so much. Probably very biased, but I do love British tracks. So we got out of shape there into turn 10. I was just singing the praise of the rumble strips and then they almost tried to kill me. Goodness me. Breaking into 11 for the final time of asking. Only one more corner to navigate after this one. We had a little bit of a wide entry going into Melbourne hairpin, or at least a wide exit should I say. Now going into Goddard's for the final time of asking. And guys, that has been a very successful championship. It might only be 3 rounds, but 3 rounds dominated in style, in fashion, and in pizzazz as always. So guys, thanks for watching. I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like, comment and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to be alerted to every single DrAce upload. And upon that note guys, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Ciao for now. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite set your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.